All right, folks. So today we're going to be, or during this lesson, we're going to be just reviewing a couple of our exponent rules that we talked about kind of in the weeks leading up to before we left school. So it's kind of going to be a review, but I encourage you, if you have a pen and paper with you, go ahead and grab those so you can take notes on this, just so you have everything in front of you, because this will help you out with the homework. This will help you out with the discussion I'm going to have y'all do for this lesson as well. Okay. So first of all, we're talking about the product rule. Okay. It's my favorite one. All right. Oh gosh, I got to turn that off. That's annoying. Okay. So the product rule states that if we have a base, or if we're multiplying two exponents with the same base, say like we've got 10 to the 5th times 10 to the 3rd, all we have to do to get an answer is add those two bases, right? So we're just adding 5 plus 3, right? And that's going to get us our answer of 10 to the 8th power, all right? So let me make that 8 a little better. There we are. So the base stays the same. The base does not change. The only thing that changes is our exponents. We combine them to make our exponent of 8. All right, so our answer is 10 to the 8th. Now the reason this works is because if we wrote all these out, well, 10 times 10 times, oh my gosh, this is so many tens. 10 multiplied by itself 5 times, multiplied by 10 multiplied by itself 3 times, is going to get you 8 tens. All right? So when in doubt, you can always write this rule out. All right? So if you want to take a picture of that or pause the video, these are the notes. This is the stuff to have. You're good to go. All right? So let's move on to my other favorite rule, the quotient rule. Now, the product rule was when we were multiplying exponents. So as you could guess, the quotient rule is what we use when we divide exponents. So anytime you see two exponents with the same base again being divided instead of added or instead of multiplied, when they're being divided, we're going to just subtract the exponents, right? So that's the same as saying 10 to the 5th minus 3rd, which is going to get you an answer of 10 to the 2nd. All right? That's going to be our answer. So again, the base does not change. The only thing that changes is this exponent. Okay? Key thing about this rule is when you're dividing two exponents with the same base, you subtract those exponents. All right? And if we were to write this one out, it's a similar kind of thing. The reason, well, when we divide these numbers, we can often cancel things out, right? So this is the same as saying 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10, 5 times, divided by 10 times 10 times 10. Now if we have the same thing, actually let me do this with a red pen. If we have the same thing in the top as we do the bottom, we can cross out some of those 10s. Now we can only cross out 3 of them because there are 3 in the bottom as well as 3 to cross out in the top. Okay? We can't cross out anything that isn't already in the bottom. Okay? So these two 10s over here, there's nothing to match down here, so we cannot cross those out. All right? Awesome. When we do that, we get our answer as well of 10 to the 2nd power. Looks like an 11. There's a 10. That looks a bit better. Okay? Awesome. So key thing about the quotient rule is that when you're dividing two powers, you subtract the exponents. It's the exponent on the top minus the exponent on the bottom. All right, so let's go. We are just moving along to, this rule is my favorite. You've probably noticed I'm saying that about every rule because every rule is my favorite. But let's talk about this power rule. Okay, so the power rule is what happens when our exponent, say 10 to the 5th, is also taken to another power or to another exponent, right? So if we have 10 to the 5th power to the 3rd power, Well, whoops. All we're going to do when we have that is we're going to be multiplying 5 times 3. We're going to multiply those two exponents to get 10 to the 15th. Okay? So the big mistake, people often mistake this with the product rule. When you have these parentheses and there's only one base, that tells you that you're going to be multiplying the two exponents. All right? So key things to look for are parentheses and two exponents to one base. That's when you multiply. All right? And the same thing, if we wrote this out, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to do this. 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. So 10 to the 5th power multiplied by itself 3 times. Oh my gosh, I don't have enough space. Let's just shrink this one up. Yeah, that fits in there. We now have 15 tens being multiplied by each other, which is the same as 10 to the 15th. So when in doubt, you can always write it out. It works with the power rule, with the product rule, and with the quotient rule as well. Okay? Awesome. Ooh, actually, before we finish, give me 2 more minutes and we'll go over the 0 power rule. Okay? So the 0 power rule is my favorite rule. If we have 10 to the 0 power, well, guess what that equals? Go ahead, guess. What do you think? No, that's wrong. Just kidding, it's right. It is 1. Any number to the 0 power is going to be just 1. Any number at all. All right? Now, that's all in today's lesson video. I hope you all enjoyed. Maybe I'll draw a smiley face for you, because everybody likes a smiley face, right? Yeah, everybody does. Okay, anyway, good luck, everyone. Make sure you're doing the discussion for this lesson as well as the practice problems. The links are on the page for week 3, all right? And we'll see you all during the office hours, hopefully.